Hello. Hopefully you can hear me. I want to welcome you to Duquesne University's Summer Percussion Camp online edition. We're very pleased that we were able to have your students with us today and throughout the week. They were terrific. They asked great questions and they participated in a great way. I hope that each one of them was able to learn a lot from the camp. I know all of our faculty who helped out with the camp were very impressed by the way everybody played and handled themselves and the questions they asked. All the faculty told me later on that they thought they were a great group of kids with just terrific questions throughout the week. Now to start our concert, we're going to do our little live stream concert here. And I want to see, is anybody out there? Let's see, we got our chat set up. Say hello, anybody who's out there. You can just live chat. All right. This is my first live stream, so it's pretty exciting. All right, so just give you an introduction. What we did this week, we played percussion ensemble music, and what we did that was challenging because we were all on Zoom, and over Zoom it's difficult to rehearse because there's the thing called latency. So if I were to clap my hand, then the next person would clap their hand, but maybe like a half millisecond late. So lining up stuff in rehearsal time was challenging. So what we ended up doing was creatively using our mics to help us rehearse. Sometimes we would have a full track that we would play with, and other times we would mute one person would be unmuted, and the rest of us would have our mics on, and we'd play just listening to that track. Because the trick is, everybody hears it in time except for when it's responding back and forth. So doing that allows everybody to hear one player, and they're allowed to play with them, or they can play with them and get together. And then the next person will unmute, and that person will remute. The first person will remute their microphone. And so we would do this. We'd go round robin around the table, just trying to get everybody to line up with each other so we'd have some kind of ensemble experience. Because really ensemble playing is just playing with each other and listening. So then after that, after we rehearsed it all week long, then I asked the students to record on their own. And they each recorded their portion of the piece, and then they sent it back to me. And then I was able to piece it together just like we had in rehearsal to kind of simulate what it would have been like if we were able to hear each other directly. Let's see. Okay, good. Right on schedule. So we recorded 3 pieces. One of them was called Music for Pieces of Wood. One was Pun Logo, that's an African style of music. And then the third was a piece called Floor Play, which everybody got in at the last minute. It was a lot of fun to do, but unfortunately that one's not going to be ready for this concert. I'll have to email it to you after it's able to be all put together. But we have the other 2 pieces for you. And then we also, throughout the week, worked on various different parts of percussion playing. So one master class they got was on drum set, one was on classical percussion, orchestral percussion, one was on timpani, and one had a focus on marching percussion. So they got a little bit of everything from this camp. It was kind of designed to be a survey course where you could learn a lot of different styles, and there's a little something for everybody. And maybe some areas you weren't quite comfortable in. Hopefully you learned something new in those areas. Anyway, without further ado, I want to start the first piece. So we're going to start with Pun Logo. And let's see if we can make that happen. Pun Logo is an African style of music. It has traditionally a bell player, a kagan player. It's a small drum that plays an offbeat rhythm. And then there's usually a lead drummer and a shekere as well. Shekere would be an instrument traditionally that looks like this. Now, being again isolated from each other, we didn't have all the authentic instruments that we would normally have, but we found a way around it and we used the instruments we had around us. Somebody had a kabasa or had a shaker at their house, they were able to use that. Another person had a conga, and so on, just trying to find different sounds to make the piece work. All right, so here is Pan Logo. All right, that was Pan Logo. Uh, our excellent students doing that. Nicole on the lead drum. All right, I would just like to tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm Eliseo Rael. I'm the assistant coordinator of the percussion department at Duquesne University, and I was a blast getting this camp together. I don't just teach, I also perform, so I wanted to add that to our performance today. This next piece is called Serenade for the Doll. It's a solo for solo marimba. All right, that was Serenade for the Doll by Claude Debussy. I made that arrangement on his piano work. Arranging is something that I enjoy doing, and we got a chance to talk about that with the kids as well, encouraging them to try to start composing and arranging their own music. Now, for our next portion, I would like to introduce the faculty to talk about the faculty that was able to join us for the Duquesne Summer Percussion Camp this year. We had Alex Stopa, who comes from us from Las Vegas. He plays in the group in the show Le Rêve. That's a show, a water show out in Las Vegas in the Wynn Hotel, where they have acrobats who go and they jump into a pool, and it's a very intense, acrobatic, high intensity program, sort of like you'd find in any kind of Cirque du Soleil show. It's in that genre. But anyway, he does that. He plays with the Las Vegas Symphony out there. He also is a great marimbist, so it was great to have him out teaching about drum set and talking about different career paths that percussionists take that aren't just the typical classical. Also, we had Jeff Crowell, who's Dr. Crowell. He comes from us from the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. He's the head of the percussion department there. He did a lot of our marching percussion stuff today, gave an overview of that this week, and then was able to talk about some of the career paths that he took to land him into sort of a university kind of role that he plays, in addition to all the playing he does. The next on our faculty list was Ryan Louie. He was the timpanist of the South Dakota Symphony and also played in the Air Force Heartland Band. So he did a lot of our timpani master classes, and the four of us played together in a group called Pana Percussion Quartet. And so we like to get together and record every now and again, but again, with social distancing, playing together has been hard. So we put together a program of our own. And the next piece that we're going to play is it's an arrangement that I made from Prokofiev's Romeo and Juliet. So it's a chance for you to hear all the faculty play together. All right, that was Morning Serenade by Sergey Prokofiev. It's originally written for a large orchestra in a ballet of Romeo and Juliet. If you haven't seen it or don't know, haven't ever read Romeo and Juliet, I don't want to spoil anything, but it doesn't turn out well. But anyway, this particular piece is very serene, and it works very nicely for mallet ensemble. Now, for our last piece, and this kind of highlights just the kind of work that these kids did. We threw at them a pretty tough piece. It's a Steve Reich piece. He's a minimalist composer. It's called clapping music. And the way it works is it's very intricate, it takes extremely good time and rhythm, extreme precision in your playing. And it's something we picked primarily because you didn't need instruments. All you needed was to be able to just clap. But the time and the rhythm had to be super solid, and especially in this kind of situation, we can't really hear each other other than just one at a time switching off parts in rehearsal. So it's challenging. So this is a real testament to these guys that they were able to pull this off. So for our last piece, this is called Clapping Music by Steve Reich.